infection stops where information starts. Welcome to the Transmission Control Podcast, where knowledge is your strongest defense. Broadcasting from the front lines of healthcare, we dive into the strategies, science, and stories shaping infection prevention today. Each episode, we connect you with experts on real-world insights to help you stop the spread of healthcare-associated infections, protect patients, and strengthen your practices as an infection prevention and public health expert. When the right information reaches the right people, lives are saved.
Welcome to Transmission Control, the podcast where we dig into the people, processes, and products that are pushing infection prevention forward. My name is Hank Balch, and this is Before and After, a special two-part series bringing you behind the scenes with some of the top innovators and entrepreneurs out there changing the way that we prevent infections. In today's Before episode, we're giving you a sneak peek at one of the vendors you'll definitely want on your radar when you hit the expo floor there in Phoenix. Whether you're attending APIC in person or following along from afar, you're going to walk away from this episode with insider insights, product highlights, and the kind of behind the booth buzz that you'll only get on Transmission Control. With that, let's jump into the conversation and hear what George Cronin has to say about Dri-Scope Aid here in 2025. George, welcome to the show today.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Thanks for having me on here.
I have not said this yet, George, but you are the new 2025 Endoscope Drying Expert for the Transmission Control platform. So folks are going to be seeing and hearing from you a lot more in the days to come. But knowing that, I'm assuming you guys have something to do with endoscope drying. Is that going to be part of the expectation here?
That's probably why we're going to kind of circle this around and might as well do it what we work with every single day.
Good. Yeah. So give us a little background. I know you're going to be there at booth 1335 there on the expo floor. But for anybody who's not familiar with Dri-Scope Aid, give us a little background about what the company's all about.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're drying the internal channels of endoscopes. So when we think endoscopes, a lot of times we think GI. That's immediately where our heads go. But urology, bronchoscopes, anesthesioscopes, any ENT, anything with a channel needs to be dried after high-level disinfection, either before storage or before sterilization. And so what we do is we've come up with multiple solutions to do that, because if you've been in one cleaning room, you've been in one cleaning room. All right. So what we're trying to show at APIC and what we've done since we launched this product back in 2017 is show that we can help all different departments within the same facility to standardize.
Right. So, George, you've obviously been at a couple of conferences already this year. This is another one here in Phoenix that you'll have the opportunity to talk to more clinicians, in particular, going to be coming from the IP perspective, obviously. But what have been some of those key conversations you've had thus far here in 2025? Again, what are people excited about, and why in particular would you encourage IPs to swing by your booth there in Phoenix?
Yeah, it was a big standout this year for my entire team. We were at HSPA and then SG&A conference. And the hundreds of people that came by our booth, there's lots of questions on drying and why do we need to dry? Is it a requirement? Is it a recommendation? Which we'll be able to dive in our booth, so come on by. We have clinical staff, product management, sales in there that can help you with that. But what came from those two conferences was really at the end of every conversation, almost every conversation was great. I need to talk to my IP about this.
Okay.
Right? And in the past, we didn't hear IP at all. Then it kind of trickled in. Last year, we heard a little bit more. And then this year, it was everybody saying, well, then I need to talk to IP because we'll have to bring in all the departments.
Great. Yeah. So that spirit of collaboration is really alive and well. I've been sensing that as well, kind of across the board on all kinds of other topics like water quality and whatnot, because, yeah, it's the IP that we're not getting this done without IP buy-in. And, yeah, this endoscope drying conversation is right down the middle for that as well. So let's say I swing around the corner in the expo hall. What is your booth going to look like? What kind of devices and tech am I going to see there? Like, what should I make sure to get eyes and hands on if I get the opportunity?
Well, we're going to kind of stand out a little bit. So you're going to walk in that front entrance. You're going to see the big APIC booths, and we're kind of set like one maybe booth behind there. But what you really see, we have drying cabinets. We have our small little unit. We have retrofitted cabinets. We'll have all that in the booth. But the thing that'll stand out, we changed up our cabinet a little bit this year. It is a gigantic purple cabinet. Okay. We wanted to call it the Grimace, but I think we're going to run into some trademark issues, so we're not going to call it the Grimace. We're going to step what is not, we can't pass that cost on to the end user. Yeah. So we'll stay away from that, but it's a big, gigantic purple cabinet in our tracker cabinet, which has a whole new system within it, new lighting system that's really going to help the end user, not with drying, but just managing inventory.
Okay. Great. Well, for anybody who's tuning in, obviously a lot of folks are going to be listening to this on their way to Phoenix. They're either driving or flying, and hopefully you're going to spend a couple of minutes here to know what you want to prioritize on your expo travels there. But for anybody who's like, you know what, I don't want to wait. Either I'm not going to APIC at all this year, or now you got me curious about this big purple cabinet. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you or to find out more right now?
Yeah, so right now you can just jump right on our website, which is Dri-Scope.com, which is Dri-Scope.com. You'll find all the information on all the different ways we can dry scopes, but our contact information is on there. You can email me directly at george@Dri-Scope.com. But typically everybody goes right to the website and fills out our contact form, and we get back to you within an hour.
Okay, great. Well, yeah, for anybody, too, that wants to track George down, he is active there on the LinkedIn platform as well. So you can just search him out. We'll have his name and contact in the description of the show. But George, that's going to wrap it on this before episode of our before and after conference shout out series. If you're tuning in and you're on your way to the conference, again, make sure to stop by the Dri-Scope booth. See that big purple cabinet that George alluded to, and tell them that you heard them here on Transmission Control. If you're not attending, no problem, no stress. Okay, stick with us because the next episode, our after episode, is going to give you the full download on what you missed and what you can and should do next. And make sure that you're subscribed to Transmission Control so that you don't miss part 2 here with George Cronin. And until then, remember, infection stops where information starts.
Thanks for tuning in to the Transmission Control Podcast, where infection stops because information starts. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know. Connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and share this episode with your team. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep transmission under control.